Hello and welcome back to Fox Hime. So we're on the search for the mysterious fox. Basically, Maury, the fox girl, disappeared, and let's see if we can find her. I guess. So there you go. I returned home with a simple backpack. Mum looked at me and found me back alone. Didn't Maury come back with you together? Yes. Maury might have come back earlier. Heard that. Hearing that, Mum said nothing more. I am thinking about going out again. Why? You are back just now. Where are you going this time? Going to the shrine on the hill. I walked out of the house as I said that. Come back early in the evening, remember? Mum's voice came to me from behind. The shrine was in the depths of in the woods near my house, and as I walked slowly along the muddy road toward the deep forest, I was getting colder and colder because of the weaker sunshine. Faint... Actually, is that the same background that we had in that previous camping scene? Anyway, the faint sunlight streamed down through the leaves on the top of my head, forming several bunches. It felt as if I'd entered the dream. Sometimes it's hard to understand where Leah's confidence comes from. How can I find Maury if she's not going to see me? Isn't that the question? I was once again convinced of this when I found the whole shrine, but couldn't find any shadow of Maury at all. But it was incredible that I was touched by what Maury had said casually in the hospital at that moment. Wait, don't I mean Leah? Anyway, at last I gave up looking for Maury, sitting on the stone steps of the shrine courtyard. And being in a daze with my back leaning against the stone pillars carved with something like a fox. The setting sun in comfortable warmth shed on my body. Interesting way of putting it. It feels like you'll fall asleep at any second. I woke up without realizing how long it has passed. An incredible scene came in front of me. A little girl was sweeping the fallen leaves in the courtyard of the shrine, leaning on the broom. The fox's ears were moving on her head, and the tail wagged as we woke up every morning. The girl wore a gorgeous witch service. What? Standing in the sunset and smiling at me. It didn't seem to be the reality. Maury. I stood up and staggered towards her. Yan, you woke up. Maury smiled at me. Why did you go without saying anything? I said smoothly. Because Yan does not need me anymore. Whether need or not shall be determined by myself. I know as well because I am the divinity. I stayed still, let the time slowly flow away. We did not have a conversation, just looking at each other silently. Maury, could you please not leave? I knew my voice is choking. I tried to hold back, but I failed. Maury, could you please not leave me? I could not see Maury's face quite clearly as the sunset was passing through my tears. I could not see the face of the girl that grew up with me clearly. I could only feel that she was slowly coming towards me and stroking my hair. How familiar the feeling is. It was the same feeling as the girl touched me when the parade walking through me. What? I think they're talking about walking through the procession or the parade when I was in my childhood. Could you please not leave me, Maury? Jesus, stubborn Yan. Maury still smiled at me. You would stop crying if I touch your head like this, at this time. How can I stop crying? The one who has lived together with me for 20 years is leaving me. How can I hold back my tears? I lowered my head as I said, she's leaving me and I'll never see her again. We ate together and we went to school together. We were staying in the same room just now, just recently. 20 years, eh? So he's going to be a university student? I guess so. Yan, you were as stubborn as a kid. Maury, I beg you to not leave me. Don't be afraid. Yan is not afraid anymore, even if Maury is not around. This sort of thing. I know, I really know. So Yan, please don't cry anymore. Yes, indeed. I can't let you go. I know. Perhaps I was exhausted. Perhaps I lost the ability to cry. Or perhaps things went the same way as 20 years ago. I looked up at Mori. Mori was as pretty as a fairy, even if a normal person would prostrate to her. You see, everything is alright, am I right? There will be other girls who could replace Mori and love you, so be more brave. I don't wanna. Jesus, sounds like a brat indeed. I don't. Please. The night has already hung down. It was already hung down, I guess, when I opened my eyes again. The cool autumn breeze blew through my cheeks, and I staggered to my feet and turned on my phone for a while. It was already 9 o'clock in the evening. There were 2 missed calls, both were from my mother. Well, there you go. So I slept through that. I called back. Mum, I'm coming back home right now. Alright. I stayed at home for nearly a week, and the day before I went back to school, I received a message from Tiara. Who? It must be Leah, I guess. The doctor says I'll be able to leave the hospital tomorrow. Great. I'll pick you up at the hospital tomorrow if there's time available. Before long, I received a reply from Where the hell are they getting this name from, Tiara? I can do it alone. But in the end, I couldn't catch up with Leah. I went back to the 2nd floor of the bookstore and got a message from Leah. I've been discharged from the hospital and I'll go to have advanced mathematics lessons tomorrow. After reading the text message, I fell on the bed and looked at the plank in front of me. There isn't any change around except your absence. I close my eyes. The scene of Mori copying the books, feeling tired and lying on the desk, came to my mind. I opened my eyes and looked at the desk, but there was nothing there. After all, it was only you who made up your mind to leave. I had no other choices but only to accept. The next morning, when I got up from my bed, I shivered as I opened the window and the cold wind blew in. The cold air is coming on the road according to the weather forecast. Although holding this suspicious attitude, I still put on my long-sleeved coat. The street leading to school was, as usual, full of students. Some were hurrying, some were just walking slowly and chatting. Occasionally came their laughter. There came their laughter, I guess. Anyway, I was alone at that moment without Mori. After a quick breakfast in the canteen, I went to the classroom where we had advanced mathematics lessons. Since it was still early, there were not many students in the classroom. I sat in the empty chair and used to take a book out of my bag and put it on the table next to me. It's not a good behaviour, it's a bit against violation. It's against violation, eh? I didn't realise it is not a good behaviour until that moment. There were more and more students in the classroom, and the teachers had entered the classroom. Multiple teachers, but Leah still had not come into the classroom. How about sending a text message? Forget it. Just wait. As I was thinking about this, Leah came in through the back door of the classroom. How early you were. Did you arrive on time every time? It's called accurate calculate. Well, time to class. Listen carefully. Alright. Leah began to listen to the teacher intensely, and I had better keep quiet. I could only use my chin to write down the notes mechanically. Quite a feat to use their chin for that. How about going to the amusement park at the weekend? Fabulous, why not? Deal. Even sitting in the back of the classroom, I could still hear the classmates' small talk, which seems to be an interesting topic. Doesn't it matter if you don't listen to the lectures? Never mind. The contents of the exam are almost the same as the contents of the book, which has been proved the last time. By the way, I didn't get a test paper in the last exam. I even don't know how many points I got. I took out Leah's test paper of advanced mathematics last time, delivering it to Leah. Leah frowned after seeing this. Just pass. How about Yan? 80 points. This is a bit unfair, as I've always taken it seriously. I was just lucky. No chatting, the guy's over there. The teacher suddenly turned and looked around, then turned back. There must be a point between the opening range at A and B. Focus on the lecture, then follow you. Leah took a glance at me, smiled, and then returned to the lectures. Did you find Mori? At the end of the class, Leah suddenly asks about it. Yep. Happy to hear it. Will Mori come back? I don't know. Maybe not. Well, when the bell for the end of the class rang, classmates all walked out of the classroom in a hubbub. Could imagine it. It feels like it's piercing the skull. Leah and me were the last to leave. Shall we go to the amusement park as well? Let's see. It's up to you. We can go whenever you want. Okay, then I'm gonna go back home right now. See ya. I went straight back to the bookstore after this separation because there was nothing else to do. I sat down at my desk and began copying ancient books. Perhaps for escaping, perhaps hoping everything would go on as usual. I was looking forward to seeing Mori sitting beside me when I suddenly recovered. Everything came so inadvertently, just the same as her sudden departure. But I could still not calm down, only to give up finally. I lay back on my bed. I know Mori didn't want to see me like this, but I had no other choice. I began to know how powerless people are towards their feelings. Shall we go to the amusement park as well? Leah's words suddenly flashed into my mind. It might be a good idea. Leah would worry about me if things went on like this. It was Sunday. I made a phone call to Leah after I finished washing up. I feel like going to the amusement park today. Is Leah available? Yep. Meet at the amusement park gate in the afternoon. Okay. After a quick lunch, I left for the amusement park. Okay. I saw the Ferris wheel when I was at the front of the amusement park. Because it was the weekend, the park is full of tourists walking around. Was full of tourists. God, the switching between present and past tense. Anyway, Leah hadn't come yet, and I could only idly watch the crowd of people coming and going. If only Mori were here. An unrealistic desire came into my mind. Because it was too unrealistic, a wave of sadness could not help crowding into my mind. Yan. Leah came in front of me when I was having these foolish reflections. Did you run here? Leah's breathing was a bit short and quick. Yeah, just a while. Take it easy, I'm not in a hurry. Anyway, did your feet hurt? Nothing counts. Good, let's go. Is there any project Leah wants to play? Project? Nothing special. The key point to the amusement park is to see the happy guys. Because Yan had been so sad all the time since he came back, so I thought, yeah, sorry for bothering you. Do you feel better? Slightly better. I looked up at the people who were on the roller coaster. People were screaming excitedly, enjoying the freedom of a short weekend. People's lives are wonderful. Will they also have sadness? Yan seems to have a strong sense on Mori. Yep. How do you like a lover? We've never been lovers. Well, you're right. Yeah, kept silent for a moment, looking at the Ferris wheel in the distance. The Ferris wheel slowly turned around, not so fiercely as the roller coaster, but it was changing slowly, indeed. What do you think indeed happened that led to Mori's leaving, Leah? It's hard to say, but even if we can't express clearly, things are changing all the time. Human's mind is always so unpredictable. I thought I would never. Leah said half of it and stopped. It's boring for us standing here. Why don't we walk around? Leah has no special interest in any project. Not yet. We just strolled around and finally we got to the feet of the Ferris wheel. The sun was going down. The setting sun reflected the whole sky, as beautiful as it was. How about going up to the Ferris wheel? I'd love to. Leah smiled at me. We sat in the Ferris wheel, and with the shock of a start, the Ferris wheel began to rise slowly. Leah was staring at the city and sky that had been dyed golden, and the setting sun shone on her face. I inadvertently stared at the side face. When did Leah become so beautiful? What was she like when I first met her? When I first saw Mori was a little girl of my height. How funny her ears and tails were, how heavy the books she carried with her. She was always there with me when I was sleeping, when I was having lessons. Oh great, this is probably going to trigger content ID. Anyway, if I like Yan, will Yan like me? Leah suddenly turned to me and asked me with a smile. Did I have an illusion just for a moment? If I like Yan as much as Mori likes Yan, will Yan like me as you like Mori? Bit of a tongue twister, Leah smiled at me again. Will Yan miss me like you miss Mori if I leave you as well? I don't know. I don't want to lose. It would be very hard to lose. Leah turned her eyesight out of the window again. Jesus, that is a little bit loud, hang on. Okay. The first wheel is slowly rising, slowly rising, and the horizon continued to expand in the glow of the setting sun. The great city became a maze of small boxes. We almost reached the highest position. Yan-chan, I love you. I was momentarily at a loss as to what to say. Will it bother you if I love you? Leah, now you are the only one I have. So Yan-chan, do you love me? I'm not sure. I don't want to be alone, but can I? That's a tricky answer and I can't decide whether to leave you. No, do not leave me like Mori. Suddenly I became at a loss. Jesus, I can say that again. But I don't know how to keep staying with you. Mori is Yan-chan's guardian, but Leah turned around and looked at me. I could see there was a glint in her eyes. They must be full of tears. It's not enough just being classmates. Leah was still looking at me and smiling. Hugged me. I hugged her tightly, and so did her. So did she. The feeling was totally different from carrying her. Much warmer, much softer, also much more tolerant. Thank you, Mori. Thank you. Oh. Jesus, that was pretty short. The end. Well, short but sweet. Very short, but yes, still sweet though. Yeah, overall, yeah, I'm definitely glad I got it on sale, that's for sure. Because yeah, the length aside, the English translation was pretty god-awful to say the least. I mean, really, freaking Everlasting Summer, a free visual novel made by Russians, had much better translation than this commercial visual novel from, I'm guessing, Japan. I'm not sure where exactly, somewhere in Asia, clearly. That's there you go. Oh, but wait, there's more. After graduation, I stayed and worked in the city. Also, Leah had become my wife. We got a child soon after our marriage. Wow, they don't waste any time. When we took our kid, who was less than 1 year old, Mum was standing outside and waiting for us. Welcome home. The Temple Fair Parade was being held to welcome the fox spirit, and they will pass our house soon. The child suddenly burst out crying when he saw his grandmother, my mum. Maybe he was shy or the drum of the procession was too loud, and he didn't calm down a little no matter how Leah tried to coax him. Oh, he's just like Yan-chan at that time. Fox Spirit is very good at coaxing children. Yan-chan was just calmed by her then. Leah, why don't you make a vow to her? Leah looked at me, then looked down at our child in her arms. Yes, let's make a vow to the Fox Spirit. Ask her to protect our child until he grows up. After that, Leah carried the child near the window and let him see the fox statue, I'm assuming, in the parade procession. Soon after, he turned tears into smiles and burst into laughter. Mori. Our child burbled and made weird sounds. Leah was suddenly shocked and could say something after a long time. Is that Mori? Is that Mori? The end. Now it's a small world, eh? Okay, well there you go, now that's the end of Foxheim. So, yeah, I think my assessment still remains the same. Could have been a bit longer, and you definitely needed much better translation. Still, yeah, did a reasonable job tugging at the old heartstrings there, I'll admit. Yeah, especially at the end there. There you go, nice bit of continuation, I guess you could say. So that's that, I suppose, for Foxheim. Going to be a relatively short video, it seems, but yeah, it's going to be more coming out at a later point. So, yeah, see you then. Well, more of other games, obviously.